Flosstube. I'm Tamara. I am PD Stitcher here on YouTube and over on Instagram. This is my channel about cross stitch with a little bit of life stuff thrown in every now and then. Welcome. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome. If you're new, I hope that you'll stick around, and if you see something that you like, that you'll hit the subscribe button and continue to develop a friendship over cross stitch with me. And if you are returning, thank you so much for your friendship, for the kind words. So many people have responded last week with help for my decision on what I was going to do with Rosetta, which I will talk about a little bit later this morning. It is Sunday, October 3rd. I cannot believe it's already October. It does not seem possible that this year is almost over. This is Flosstube 40. I'm not the most consistent. I've been doing this for 2 years. As you can see, I've only made 40 of these, including today's. So I'm trying. I try right now. I think I'm doing pretty good with the every other week, which was good because last week was busy and next weekend will be busy. So this weekend worked out great. I'll talk a little bit more about that in the life stuff towards the end. Let's see. I have a couple of finishes to share. I have a new start. I have a ton of WIPS because I worked on craziness the last 2 weeks. Trying to keep up with all the games and stuff that I'm doing, which I've discovered just completely has overwhelmed me, and I need to go back to not trying to do all the little stitchy games that I find on Facebook and just focus on a couple here and there. That way I get more productive focus stitching and not a little bit here and a little bit there, but that's okay. We live and we learn. And then hopefully I will have time to talk about some plans and to show a tiny bit of stash. All I have is a tiny bit of stash. It's not like I'm only going to show you a tiny bit of stash because I have a lot. No, I've only gotten a tiny bit of stash in the last couple of weeks, which is good because my budget probably couldn't handle a big amount of stash. And then we'll finish with our quote this morning. So let's look at these finishes. The first one, I'm so sorry, I'm trying to pull these out of the basket that the bags are in. I did pre-unzip everything. So this was housed in my little Amazon vinyl bag. And this is Angel of Freedom from Lavender and Lace. I'm trying to figure out where to put this so it doesn't fall off the couch. And last week I shared, and it was so close to a finish, and yes, I have not ironed it yet. It will get done. But she's finished. She's done. I finished all the metallics, which you can kind of see the sparkle in these little stars and the bell and all throughout. You can't really see it in her skirt, but all of these dark spaces that look like the fabric, it's not. Those are Krynic. But she is done. I'm trying to figure out what to do with her. She's kind of close to the bottom. I may have enough. Sarah, thank you for your encouragement. Sarah King from our Stitching Kingdom. She was very encouraging and said she has been able to finish projects that were even closer to the edge of the fabric than this. So I'm feeling a little bit more confident that I can do something with her and maybe get her up in my house. We'll see. I'm hoping that, because I don't finish, so maybe I can find somebody who can finish this for me. But she's finished. That's finished number 1. And that was my oldest WIP, so now I have a new oldest WIP. And then I worked on some Advent animals, and I finished 2 of them. And y'all, I'm doing them all on one fabric, so I feel like this is like a blanket. So the first one I finished was Fitzwilliam Frog. The little singing dapper man with his little top hat, who is absolutely adorable. And it's weird because these little music notes are showing up really good in the camera, But in person, they don't. So maybe I'll take a picture through the camera and just post the picture, put that on my walls, because in real life they don't show up as well. I've been trying to figure out what I can do to make them show up a little bit better. And the other one I finished was Larry Lyon. And these are from Brooks Books Publishing. And I'm really bad about this. I will put everything in the description box below as far as fabric, count, and color, because I'll forget. I think this is 32 count, picture this plus sterling. And Angel of Freedom was on 32 count Sweet Pea. So this is Sweet Pea. And now I've got to fold up this big old thing. If I don't put them at least somewhat neat beside me, I'll spend the rest of my day just putting things away. I don't have time for that. So, but those are my finishes. I finished those 3 things. So now, new starts. Friday was the 50th anniversary for Disney World, so I thought I'd celebrate it. And I started, let's see if this will, there we go, World of Disney from Deanna Cross Stitch on Etsy, and I will link that in the description box below. So I'm going to keep this out because I have gotten a pretty good start. But you can't really see it because it's that little cloud. And some of the sky, but mostly cloud, that's up in that corner. So I always start in the top left. So I've done the cloud and some of the sky. I'm really looking forward to getting to the plane so I can have something besides white and blue. But that's okay. It's going to be a massive undertaking. It will probably take me years and years, but I'm really enjoying stitching it. I am doing this because I've lost my mind. This is 1/1 on 32 count Easy Grid. Y'all, those squares are so tiny. They're so tiny. And my eyes are old. I have old people eyes because I'm an old person. And I can't see even though I do have progressive lenses, I can't see the holes when I'm wearing my glasses. But I can't see far away. I'm not wearing my glasses. So this is going to be a lesson. Maybe I should stick with the 28, but this is such a big project. It's 999 by 694. So it's huge. And I don't want it to be the size of a whole wall. Just half of a wall would be nice. So I'm doing 32, so it's not huge. Absolutely humongous, but it's a massive undertaking. But that's my new start. I'm really excited. It's going to be gorgeous when it's done in 50 years. That's okay. I'm not quite 50, so maybe I'll live to 100 and finish this project. So that's my new start. Now let's talk about some WIPS. I have a lot. And some of them I don't remember. This one is this one. Okay. So this is Cardinal in the Snow from X Squared Cross Stitch on Etsy. Although, and I've said this before, I have gone to her site or tried to go to her site on Etsy and it's not there. I can't find it. I can't find this pattern anywhere anymore. This was a gift from one of my children because she knows I love cardinals and especially cardinals in snow. So she bought me this pattern. So it is called Cardinal in the Snow. And all I'm working on right now is background. Lots and lots of background. I do have a board beside me. I could try and use that and see if that helps. There we go. So it's purples and greens and blues, and I was parking. I've decided not to. I'm trying to color complete, but I color complete, not completely. So I try to color complete with one strand. So I take one strand, and this is what I'm doing for World of Disney too. For these two, I'm doing as far as one strand will take me, color completing with that one. And then I finish it off. And then I go to the next square, pick that color, and do that, so that I'm going to complete across the page. These two part threads I'm going to stitch in next so that they're not dangling, and then I'll go back to color completing. This is a paper pattern. I cannot get it to work with Pattern Keeper. So it's a paper pattern, which makes it a little bit more fun to stitch. My next one's also a paper pattern. World of Disney I have on Pattern Keeper. I've worked on it for 2 days and I have 1,200 stitches. I can't get 1,200 stitches in a day or 2 days or a week on when I'm using a paper pattern. So I really do like using Pattern Keeper. If I could get all of my full coverages to work with that, I would. But this one doesn't. And the next one doesn't. And I've talked about that before. This is Christmas 2. The artwork is by Ciro Marchetti. And it is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This one, my son bought me this pattern. My children know I like to cross stitch, so it's an easy gift for them to give me, is to buy a cross stitch pattern. And he bought the hard copy, which is fine. And it was before they had done the changes with the DMC 09 and they had to rechart stuff. And so I had already kitted this up. I'd already done 2.5 pages using the DMC 09. And when I did buy the digital copy after they had recharted it, but it is so very different from where I had already started. I couldn't figure out how to match it up with what I had already done. And y'all, I'm so sorry if you can hear my stomach. Apparently I need to eat. It's a little grumpy this morning. But I will be eating breakfast as soon as we're done here. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. So, but nobody else is up besides one of my children, and she's in there doing her thing quietly. Once everybody else is up, it's too noisy. But so I tried to do it on Pattern Keeper, but it was so different. So I'm just gonna struggle on through. And this one, so I said World of Disney's on 32 count. Cardinal and Snow is on 28 count, 1/1. This is 25 count, and I'm doing it 10th stitch, 2/1. And this one I am parking because I can't, in Cardinal in the Snow, there's enough blocks of color that I can color complete, and it's not stressful doing it on paper. This has so much confetti, I can't do that. So I'm literally going block by block in a diagonal and parking because that's the only way I can. But I've gotten a good bit done. I've done 4 pages across the top. I'm working on the 3rd page across on the 2nd row, and I've done 1 page here. I started going across, and then I decided no, I didn't want to just go all the way across because that would be long. So now I'm trying to do on the diagonal. So here, and then I'll do this one, and then this one. But it's looking really good. This one's another one. It's going to take me many, many years, but I'm really enjoying full coverage. I used to be terrified of it, so I'm working more on it thanks to Hannah Dowling, who has been an incredible enabler with full coverage. If you are not following Hannah Dowling, and that's her channel name is Hannah Dowling, you should be. She does some amazing full coverage. Her last Flosstube, she had no full coverage that she showed though. So if you go and watch the last one she recorded, you're going to say, hey, you lied. She didn't do any full coverage. She normally has a lot of full coverage, but she's also doing the Nightmare Before Christmas storybook Sal, and the outline for that looks amazing, and I can't wait to see how it comes to life. I thought about picking up that one or the princess one, the castle one. I just don't have enough hours in my day to pick up another sow. I'm not going to keep up with it, and then I'll get frustrated because I'll get behind, and I just can't right now. So my next one, this was one of my WIP Go goals for September. It was to do 5 days on, okay, I said that I unzipped everything, but I didn't take everything out of its plastic bag, so I'm sorry. 5 days on Pretty Little San Francisco from Satsuma Street. This is what it's supposed to look like when I'm done, which might be, soon, I'm hoping. I'm hoping this will be one of my very first 2022 finishes, because it's not far from a finish. I mean, it's not like I can whip it out in a day, but I should be able to finish this in 2022. So this is where I am. I worked on the cable car and some of this over here. The thing that gets me the most is the clouds. I get bogged down in them. That's where I was in here. So then when I got to the cable car, that went much quicker. There's so many color changes. Like, there's blocks of color, but then not. Like, this is blocks of color, but it's stripes of blocks of color. I don't know. I love the look of it. It just takes me a little bit longer to change colors often. So, which is, if you're new here, you're gonna probably figure out real fast, I'm not a fast stitcher. It's okay. I'm not a project stitcher. I'm a process stitcher. I love the process of stitching. So I'm okay that it takes me forever to finish things. It just gives me more time to enjoy them while I'm stitching them. So I'm good with that. And if you are a product, there you go, that's the word, a product stitcher, I'm really happy for you, because I get to see your finished products that I don't see a lot for myself. So I love watching product stitchers. I love watching progress stitchers. Everybody has their own flavor, and that's okay. All right, this one, I'm not sure where the cover photo went. This is my Clemson University Tigers. It's going to be I can open this side of the Q-snap so I can show you the whole thing. It's going to be a football helmet, obviously. Clemson football helmet. And all I have left is face mask. This looks probably to you identical to the last time I showed it. I have done progress, otherwise I wouldn't be sharing it. But I've been filling in all of the white in the face mask. So all of this, I've got to do this right here. You can kind of see, if I put it up close, the difference between where I've filled in white and where I haven't. Right here is the break right there. So I'm filling in white on this page, and then I'm going to finish over here. This should be done soon. I'm hoping this will be a 2021 finish, and I can get it done before the end of this year. I had thought I was going to join Lisa Lane on Knock It Over October. I'm not. I have other goals that I want to reach for WIP Go, and to get me closer to other things to finish. So I'm thinking I'm going to spend November and December trying to finish up projects that are close to a finish. This will be one. So this will be a focus in November. I'm going to put that down there. And then this is Winter Wisdom from Cottage Garden Sampling. I love these birds. I love this whole little songbird garden series. This is my first one I'm working on. See if that light, there we go. I eventually plan to do almost all of them in the series. There may be one or two that I don't, but I love them. And then I don't know where I'm going to put them up. Maybe eventually. And then, yeah. I have 5 children who all live here. Eventually they're all going to move out, and I'm going to have craft room. that's mine with walls. This has walls, obviously. This is my sunroom, which is where I craft. It's also my office for work. But it's a sunroom, and this is what's all around. So there's a set of 2 windows here, 2 windows right there, and this is a really short wall right here. So it's 2 windows with a little bit of wall space. There's another set of 2 windows right there. There's a door that's like a glass door with lots of windows, and then another set of 2 windows on that short wall. And then it opens that whole across from me. This is the long wall to the outside. Across from me is what would be a long wall, but it was knocked out to open into my living room. So there's literally that much wall on either side of the whole. That's all there is, and it's brick, because this was originally outside of the house, and the people who lived here before us knocked out the wall and opened it up. So it doesn't really have wall space to hang things. I'm eventually going to have a craft room that has wall space to hang things. And I think all my songbirds will probably go in there. But this is where it is. I love this. I love all the variegation. Can't really see it. You can in person. But I love it. And I've started on the bird. I would have done more on the bird. I don't know what happened. I thought I had fully kitted it up. And then I went to grab the floss that was the next color for the bird. It wasn't in the bag. So I had to buy it. It gave me an excuse to buy more stuff, because I can't just buy one skein of floss. That would be crazy. So I had to buy more. All my bags in there fall into the bottom of my basket, so it's hard to see. This is I don't know. There it is. Sorry about that. This is Words to Live By from Tiny Modernist. This was my New Year, New Start. And I have done 1 block a month. So I finished the 9th block. It's not the 9th block. It was my 9th block, because I'm doing them in all kinds of random order. I'm saving the big one for last. There are 13 total blocks, including this big one. There's 12 small ones. So I'll finish all of those this year, and then this one I'll work on at the beginning of next year and knock this one out for a finish early, hopefully. That big block might take me a couple of months, though. So I finished. This was block number 9. This is another big piece. I've got a lot of big pieces, and I'm not really good at maneuvering the fabric for these big pieces. So this block right here, don't count your blessing. Don't count your days. Make the days count. Don't count your blessings. That would be a whole different saying. Don't count the days. Make the days count. So I finished that block. I've started down here. This will be the block I'm going to work on for October. I didn't get a lot of a start on that, so this will be a good October piece. And my needle minder is from Fire Poppies. It says I'm kind of a big deal to my LONS. Fire Poppies is here in South Carolina, but it's about 2 hours away, so I do more online shopping there than I do in-person shopping. But when I do get a chance to head down to the Mount Pleasant, Somerville area, Charleston area, I make sure I stop in, because it's wonderful. If you have not ordered from Fire Poppies, you need to. They're amazing. In fact, I'll be sharing more about them in just a little bit, because that's where I had to get my floss. And I think this is the last whip. And this is the one I was saying I would come back to later. Y'all had I asked y'all last week for some input on Rosetta and how I should go about, this Rosetta from Ink Circles, how I should go about the colors for my color scheme, because okay, y'all. Okay. This is my back, which is not normally neat. Like, my backs are not normally neat, but this one is, and I couldn't tell the difference. That's That's amazing for me. That's really exciting that my back looks so nice and neat. So what I was talking about last week was I have picked these 4 colors. This is a peacock, some pinks and reds. This is greens. You can kind of see it's a light green. And then this is a deep purple. And I had originally planned to do those 4 colors and just keep rotating them. But this green is really light, and I wanted a brighter green in the piece. So I asked y'all for your opinions, and it was pretty much unanimous that instead of just picking 12 random colors, to try and keep the same color scheme, but different shades. So this is purple. So I have a new purple that I'm putting here, and then I have another teal that'll go here, or blue that'll go here. Pink will go here, and then a different green will go here, and we'll just rotate for the 3rd row as well. So I've started on this purple medallion, and I love the variegation in that with the lights and the darks. It really matches well with the one right above it with the peacock. So thank you all for your input. I'm loving it. When I finish, I'll share all of the shades, all the colors that I used. So, because I haven't really decided. I know what colors, shades of color are going to go in there, but I haven't decided on the exact which floss I'm going to use. So. Alright, that's everything for my WIPS. Yay! Alright, plans. I've kind of talked a little bit about them as I've gone, but I'm going to be working on Winter Wisdom because that's my Crystal Academy piece that I need to do for to get 750 stitches in. Excuse me, I'm trying not to sneeze. Itchy nose. I don't know why. It seems to be a Flosstube thing because I've heard other Flosstubers talk about how they sit down to film and they have itchy nose. Mine wants to sneeze. We've had a lot of pollen here, even though it's October, so I'm still dealing with allergies. Not normally dealing with allergies this late in the year. So I'm going to work on Winter Wisdom this week. My WIPGO numbers that Jessie Marie called for WIPGO were 5 days on Pandemic by Long Dong Sampler and a page finish on 3 Dolphins, which is another HAED. So I've been trying to do a full coverage focus every weekend, so next weekend we'll probably not get a lot of stitching done. My daughter is playing in a soccer tournament. My youngest daughter is playing in a soccer tournament that is here in our hometown, which you would think, hey, you don't have to travel. You should be able to get a lot more stitching in, except for I am the administrator for the soccer club here in our hometown. So I will be working a lot at the tournament. So I'll be there all day and working. So not a whole lot of stitching is going to go on Saturday or Sunday. So maybe next weekend and the next weekend will be a full coverage focus on 3 Dolphins. And I can knock out a page finish for that. 5 days on Pandemic will probably not be this week. It might be the next week. This week will be Winter Wisdom. So that's the short-term plans between now and hopefully the next time I see y'all. Those are my plans. So it sounds like I'm only going to work on 3 things. That's not true, because I forgot to show y'all something. I said that was the last one. It is not. My 100 Stitches a Day project, which I didn't finish in September. This is October from the Cross-Eyed Cricket, the Cricket Collection. A lot of times I've been able to do, for a lot of the other ones, I've done January through September now. And on those, I was able to do more than 100 stitches a day during my 100 stitches a day time. This one, I don't know why. I get 100 stitches and I'm ready to put it away and work on something else. I don't know if it's because I'm just happier with the other things I'm working on than this. I'm not a big Halloween person. I don't stitch a lot of Halloween, and so the ghosts and the skulls and the haunted houses aren't really my thing. Let me see if this is better if I put this behind it. Yes, you can see the colors a little better in my fabric. So this fabric is 32 count Moroccan clay from Color and Cotton. And this is the O. Ooh, This is the O. I've still got to stitch this whole moon and that house, the rest of the house. So this one's going to take me probably all week just to do that O. My goal for this month is to finish the O, the B, and the E. And I'll probably go into November with this project. Still is my 100 stitches a day, but we'll see. Just because I'm struggling with it, and there's those letters. There's a lot of stitching in these. Some of the months didn't. They had a lot of stitching, but not nearly like that's a big old moon. It's gonna take me forever, but that's okay. So that's 100 stitches a day. So that's 4 projects that hopefully that's all I'll work on for the next 2 weeks. I doubt it. I'll probably get bored and throw some other stuff in, but we'll see. Stash. I've got a few minutes before my tablet's gonna kick me off. So this was the free pattern from Stony Creek from September, Snowmen with Joy, and I've ordered the free pattern for October. I went ahead and did that on Friday, and it's gonna be this one right here, the Love, and then I'll have to make sure I go back in November and get the free pattern that is Hope. But if y'all don't, each month Stony Creek has these free patterns that they offer. You do have to pay for shipping. So this pattern in total cost me $3.50, I think, maybe $3.95, but that is not bad. So that's my first one, and then this is my Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month for September. Since we're already into October, I feel safe sharing this. This is not going to be a spoiler for anyone. If it is, I'm sorry. But this is, I get the color, the all color. This is Autumn Leaves, no, Crunchy Leaves. I'm trying to get it to it. Kind of, you can see what the color looks like. Let's see. If I do this, if that shows you. There, it's kind of a brownish orange. It's not really close to the color, but it's pretty. It's a darker neutral. I'm liking it a lot though. I don't know what I'm going to put on it, but it's pretty. I started, y'all, I'm really crinkly today. I am so sorry. I started a nest egg from 3 Owl Threads. I'm so excited. I'm getting the Weeks Dye Works, and so this month was G's, and I guess they had skipped. This is my first one, so I'm starting in the G's, but they had skipped conch. So I'm gonna lay them on this whiteboard and then hold them all up so that you can see the colors better. And then gold, grapevine, grenadine, which is a gorgeous orange, Granny Smith, which is a pretty, that's showing up kind of blue, but it's a pretty variegated, like lime green, goldenrod, grasshopper, which might become one of the greens in my Rosetta, grits, which I've heard a lot of people like to use that for their whites, grape ice, which is gray and lavender, and glacial melt, which might be one of the blues in Rosetta. Like I said, I haven't really decided on the colors, but this is all of them. They're so pretty, and I'm so excited because I wanted to build my Weeks stash. Once I get that one built, then I'll move to a different one. But then I have one more bag, just one more bag of stash. This is from Fire Poppies. And one thing I love about Fire Poppies is they send you a Charleston shoe with every order because they're in Charleston, South Carolina. So I told y'all that I needed to buy the one thread that I didn't have, which is sage. I also had another project that was completely kitted up except for one thread. But I couldn't let the sage travel by itself, so I also got Union Blue and Sweet Pea. And then this is Dinky Dye's Shades of Wine. Oh, hello, Sweet Pea. Let's stay up there. There we go. Those are gorgeous. And, you know, I didn't want my floss to travel by itself, so I got the Pomme et Sauge, which is absolutely not how you say that, even though I took 4 semesters of French in college. But apple and sage. That's what we'll call it. Apple and sage. And this is from Hands On Design. It was a collaboration with, I do not remember, Summer House Stitchworks. And this is their the French Kitchen collection. Alright, real quick before my video cuts off, let's share my quote. Francis of Assisi said, "Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you're doing the impossible." Y'all, there are some days when I feel like all I can do is do the necessary. So that's what I try to do. I do the necessary, and then I can add the things that are possible for me. And maybe eventually I'll be able to do the impossible. So I hope that